Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is a 2023 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid XLE Premium. And as far as mainstream cars go, this may still be one of the most in-demand vehicles on the market right now. Where I am in Southern California, dealers are charging and getting over MSRP for this car, even in the middle of 2023 with car supplies rebounding, very high interest rates, demand dwindling, etc., etc. This still commands over sticker. So what we're going to do today is try to figure out if it's actually worth over sticker. So I'm going to review this car. We're going to have a look at the hybrid powertrain and the fuel economy. We are going to look at the styling, we'll measure out the cargo space, we'll look at the passenger room, and we'll look at the interior features and the safety features. And as always, if some of that sounds good and some of it sounds bad, check the description below for timestamps, and at the end, I'll give you my thoughts on this vehicle. So let's have a look under the hood and see what really sells this thing, the hybrid powertrain of the RAV4 Hybrid. We have a 2.5 liter gasoline engine and 2 electric motors for a combined output of 219 horsepower and what Toyota calls electronic on-demand all-wheel drive. Now what that means is the second of the 2 electric motors can drive the rear wheels of the vehicle when traction needs dictate. The gasoline engine actually has no way to power the rear wheels in this car. All it can do is power the front wheels or charge the battery. So it's kind of an interesting setup. Toyota's used various versions of this in different all-wheel drive hybrids of theirs, and that's what all of the current RAV4 hybrids get as well. All of this is hooked up to an eCVT, an electronic continuously variable transmission, with the shift control mode so you can kind of change what gear you're in. The powertrain itself does a fantastic job of being very smooth. It actually is kind of fast, but it never really feels that fast. You certainly have more than adequate power though to get on the freeway, merge onto the highway, pass somebody, driving around town, it's perfectly fine. The fuel economy, in my opinion, is as advertised. It's rated 38 on the highway, 41 in the city, and 40 combined. I did do a highway test with this last night, and it beat its highway miles by a little bit. So it does do as advertised on the fuel economy, which is certainly a big selling point for the RAV4 Hybrid. And overall, the powertrain does do a fantastic job of getting the car down the road. It's not very engaging. The car never feels fast. But if you want a car to feel fast, I'm assuming you're not interested in a Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Now we'll move on to the styling on this RAV4 XLE Premium, and it's certainly there. To me, there's not a whole lot to kind of help this car stand out from the crowd. It just sort of looks like a RAV4. A couple little details I like on this XLE Premium model. We have the multi-spoke metallic finish alloy wheels. I think those look pretty good. You have the low profile roof rails. Those are kind of a gloss black finish. And on the lower portion of the car where you have the kind of brush guards to make it look a little more buff, those are a gloss black finish as well. I think the car looks good in this metallic white paint, but overall it's just kind of a RAV4. To me, the styling doesn't stand out one way or the other. It's not really a great looking car, but it's certainly not homely by any stretch of the imagination. It's just another one of the endless parade of compact SUVs traveling down the streets and freeways of my local area. Now we are going to measure out the cargo space. So let's open the power rear lift gate and do just that. The length from the rear of the cargo area to the bottom of the back seat with the back seat up, 3 feet and 2 inches. The width of the cargo area at its absolute widest point from there to the inside of this little cubby hole here, 4 feet and 10 inches. The width of the cargo area at the medium point from there to there is 3 feet and 9 inches. The width of the cargo area at its narrowest point, right at the rear of the cargo area before the back seats, 3 feet and 3 inches. The height of the cargo area right at the opening from there to the floor, 2 feet and 8 inches. And the length of the cargo area from the rear of the cargo area with the back seat folded down, 5 feet and 9 inches approximately. And I say approximately because that's the measurement to that back of that back seat. So it's in kind of a mid position. It could change a little bit. And let's see, we do have a relatively flat load floor, almost flat. So I would say Toyota engineers did a good job with that. You do have very good cargo space in the rear of this vehicle. And if you need to lift something into the rear of your new RAV4, you will need to lift it 2 feet and 5 inches off of the ground. And just for fun, we'll have a look underneath. We do get a spare tire with some tools in the RAV4 Hybrid, and you have a space to stow your rear tonneau cover. So that's a really cool touch. Very good cargo area in the rear of the new Toyota RAV4. Now we are going to have a look at the passenger space, and for this measurement I use myself. I'm 6'5", so let's see if I can sit behind myself in a new RAV4 Hybrid. All right, so as we can see, the way that I set this in the front, I have just barely enough knee room and barely enough headroom, but I do have enough room for my 6'5" frame, so we'll call that good. And the way that I adjusted it, I could have gone back maybe one more click in the front because I have enough knee room here and I have enough headroom in the back. It's a very roomy cabin. We also have rear air vents and 2 USB-C ports in the rear for our backseat passengers. And it looks like this one has the standard Toyota protective mat, so that's what that looks like. So, very roomy cabin in the RAV4 Hybrid. Practicality-wise, this car does do very, very well. There's no question about that. Now we're going to talk about the features on this RAV4 Hybrid XLE Premium. And the first thing that I will note is this vehicle is equipped with the XLE Premium grade weather package. That gives us the heated steering wheel, the heated front seats, rain-sensing windshield wipers, and the 8-way power driver's seat gets a 2-position memory function as well. So these are some nice features. Personally, I'd like to see some of these features, specifically heated front seats, as standard on a vehicle with this sort of base MSRP, but you do have to move up to the premium grade weather package to get those items. One thing I'll point out is the ergonomics in this cabin are not fantastic. For example, the button for this heated steering wheel is way hidden. It's in a spot down and to the left of the steering wheel where you really can't see it as a driver. I understand this is an added option, so they just kind of put it in there, but it is a little bit annoying that that's where it is. There's a couple other buttons down there, and it's really not the greatest placement for some of these things. You do get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto standard in this model, and they are both wireless, so that is nice. You get dual zone automatic climate control. You have a few different drive modes. You can put it in trail to make the car's computers know that you're on a limited traction surface and to help you out there. You have an eco mode, you have a normal mode, you have a sport mode, and you have an EV mode to give you, I'm assuming, very limited EV range since this is not a RAV4 Prime. We do have some pretty good charging port access. You have a 12-volt outlet and a standard USB-A data connection. Those are right in front of the shifter in the center console. And then we have 2 USB-C charging ports underneath the center armrest and the storage cubby there. You do have a digital speedometer that you can look at a lot of different settings and options in there. It looks pretty nice, but it's flanked by a bunch of analog gauges. So overall, it's a pretty modern look on the gauge cluster. Nothing amazing, but it does work well. Another little quibble that I have with the interior is the rear view mirror. This car, which is well over $38,000 MSRP and apparently selling for even more than that, has a little flippy tab to dim the rear view mirror. You do not get an auto dimming mirror standard on this package. This is kind of a lot of money to pay for a Toyota that doesn't have that feature. I'm not sure how that happened, but maybe that's just another sign of the times with inflation. Now we'll move on to the safety features, and the 2023 RAV4 Hybrid comes standard with Toyota's Safety Sense 2.5. That gives you the pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, so if a car stops short in front of you, or if there is a person walking or on a bicycle and it senses that, it will beep at you to tell you to stop, and if you don't stop, it will hit the brakes on its own. You have the full speed range dynamic radar cruise control, so that can bring the car to a complete stop and pace the vehicle in front of you. If you own one of these vehicles and you want to see how it works, I will put a link in the description to a video I made showing you how to use that. You do have automatic high beams. The button for that is hidden way down to the left of the steering wheel. You have the lane departure alert with steering assist, so if it can read the lane lines and you drift out of your lane, it can kind of nudge you back in there. You have the lane tracing assist. This helps the car maintain itself in the center of the lane when you have the dynamic radar cruise control on. The road sign assist reads the road signs and tells you what the speed limits are, etc. And we also have the blind spot monitoring, so you have the little orange lights in the rear view mirror to tell you when there's a car in your blind spot, and the rear cross traffic alert, so that when you are trying to back out of your spot in a parking lot, if someone's coming crossways, it can alert you to that as well. So after all that, is the RAV4 Hybrid worth over MSRP? My honest answer is, I don't think so, and I certainly wouldn't pay it. The MSRP on this car is about $38,700, give or take. It does not include factory navigation. It does not even include genuine leather seats. And although the fuel economy is very impressive and some of the engineering is very nice, it's just kind of a meh compact SUV, and there's a million of them on the market right now. And I think that you could pay thousands less for a vehicle with similar features and practicality that does get less fuel economy, admittedly, but you would have, depending on which one you chose, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 to spend on gasoline. And in my opinion, that's a worthwhile trade-off. So for me, no, this vehicle is not worth over MSRP. If you could buy one at window, which my understanding in my area is right now you can't, then maybe it would be worth it. And if you're absolutely in love with some aspect of it, hey, it's your money, spend it however you want. I'm just giving you my opinion here. So anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. Please leave me a comment, click that like button, subscribe to my channel, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.